Welcome to Pink Kink,
where we talk about the pretty, twisted side of kink.
I'm Princess Rara.
And I'm Dara, the Electro Khaleesi.
Whether you are a new kinkster or have years of experience, Pink Kink will help you level up your kink knowledge.
Join us on this journey as we talk about our personal experiences and use the knowledge we've gained over 28 years of being involved in both private and professional aspects of this lifestyle to help you explore every facet of kink.
Get set for an adventure. Not only will you learn and grow, but we promise loads of laughter, turning each episode into a fun party. So fasten your seatbelt and let's get this show started. Pink Kink runs off the generosity of our devoted patrons.
As a patron, you will become a member of our special Discord server, receive some adorable Pink Kink stickers, as well as have access to a monthly behind-the-scenes podcast. Patrons also get discounts at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique, and our online classes at Pink Kink Institute.
In addition, our impactful and electrifying Pink Kinksters get special audio and video episodes. And finally, patrons at our highest tier will be recognized as producers, both here on the podcast and on our website.
If you would like to become a patron, you can visit us at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast or click the link at pinkkinkpodcast.com.
Today's episode is produced by our electrifying Pink Kinksters. Thank you, Jay, Witcherman, Brianna Lynn, Daddy J, Fabe, Embers, Blossom, William P, Claire, Lady Blooding, Naughty and Nice, Butte Pain, Manda Panda, Kat, Stefan, Shadow Phoenix, Kilted Sir, Brian, May Cry Devil, Ruby Riot, Mistress Velma, Enchanted Sparrow, The Wombat, Impact Hazard, Twitch, The Midnight Girl, Sinful, J21, Daisy If You Do, AK Harley Chick, Violet Rain, Serenity, Belle, Eric, Lady Affliction,
Dr. Dave, Pumpkin Pie, Ms. Tourmaline, S'more, Hacksaw, Wee Mad Beastie, To Be Better For Me, 3 a.m. Thoughts, Forrest, BP Bryn, Crash Override, Iro, Kinky Bear, Sviper No Swiping, Barbie, Navigator Bard, Frost, Sinful and Naughty, Coffee and Chaos, Noir, Haley's Comment, Mr. Pillsbury, Stitch, Peaches, Mighty Owl, Princess Sassy Pants, Lady and Lex, Chaos Monster, Casper, Hazel Page, Jessa Lady, DJ Harlow, Ophelia, Master A, and Drew.
Dari, you're sitting, right?
Let me check. Chair, butt in chair, feet on floor. Yes, that would be sitting.
Well, because I want to say something, but I wanted to make sure you were sitting down before I said it.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, go.
You ready?
Yeah.
I have 0 notes for this episode. You okay?
Hold on.
That hurt me when you said that.
Floor, body on floor. Yes, this is passed out. Yes. Wow. Holy shit.
This is, I read a book yesterday, had a couple of conversations in another chat, and I'm feeling feisty.
Okay, wait, back up. When are you not feeling feisty?
Okay, I'm feeling feistier.
Feistiest.
Yeah. In fact, what happened is I had said to Dara, give me a 10-minute warning before we record. And she sends me a message that says, well, I'm going to go hurry up and eat first because I'm feeling hangry. And I'm like, God damn it, you should have stayed hangry. That would have made this episode even more fun.
Okay, but I still have all the hangry feelings because the food energy has not hit me yet.
Okay, because I don't want to be alone in my feistiness.
I honestly was just going to sit back and watch the drama unfold. That was my whole plan. Since you have no notes.
No notes.
I didn't have any notes. I knew where this was going. Last night, I kind of figured. I was like, this is going to be some shit. And I know we're going to end up doing an episode, excuse me, on it anyway. I got a hiccup. Let me try that again. I just hiccuped halfway through my...
Were you drinking before the episode?
I finished this. Wait, drinking alcohol? No, that's later.
Yeah, okay.
There will be copious amounts of alcohol later.
There may be, especially after this episode. You and I both may need some.
Yeah. Well, I'm supposed to go shopping. I have to go grocery shopping and stuff. And I was going to stop at the alcohol store as well.
Yeah, that's a whole rant in and of itself that you have to go to a special store to buy the alcohol.
Welcome to Virginia.
Yeah. No, I see. And I've already been up. I had breakfast and I've already been to one of my favorite my happy place, Target.
The nail salon. Oh.
That's tomorrow. Nail salon's tomorrow. And I had
My other choice was the waxer.
I don't have that scheduled.
I was trying to come up with Rara's happy places.
Oh, yeah. No, it's actually, I did something very un-Virgo-like.
You didn't write notes for an episode?
Well, that too. But no, I had to call the nail place to tell them, I know I have an appointment tomorrow, but I forgot to write down what time. So what time's my appointment?
Oh my God.
Okay. But in defense to my Virgo-ness, the time that I thought my appointment was
actually the time?
Was correct.
Oh, well.
So I did have it in my head. I just didn't have it in my calendar.
You know, I was saying something when I hiccuped and then I don't remember what I said. It's like the hiccup took it all out.
It let all the air out. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Of my brain.
I know. But yeah, no, this episode was not planned. This was a last minute episode because I read something yesterday and I started ranting.
Yeah. And then, that was what it was. And then at that point, I was like, you know what? We're going to end up doing an episode on this. We're recording tomorrow. Yep. We're going to do an episode on this tomorrow. And then she goes, by the way, we're not doing the episodes that I said we were going to do. I was like, oh, shit. I know exactly what we're going to end up doing.
Well, a lot of how episodes are picked is based upon what grabs my attention, what makes me feel passionate one way or another, passionate for or passionate against.
Well, I called this emergency meeting actually in the first place.
Yes. So I wanted to, I just like to feel passionate about what we're talking about. I feel it makes the episodes better than if we're just sitting there going, so here's this kink and this is what you do. Like, I want us to be passionate about it, even if that passion is anger.
So the word of the day is passion.
Oh, yes.
Brought to you by the letter P.
Do you know what the name of my nail salon is?
P.
Pink Passion.
Of course it is.
When I saw the name, I'm like, oh, yes, this place is speaking to me.
Boy. Well, let's see. I'm not hangry anymore. I'm sorry. However, I do have thoughts. I didn't read the book.
Lucky you.
Based on
if there's no more proof that I'm the masochist in this group, it's the fact that I read this goddamn book.
And I told you not to. I said, stop giving them money. And you said, but
it's such good content. It gives me good. Well, the book's not good content.
It gives you
me
good passion.
Gives me passion.
What is that? What is that TikTok sound? More fire, more passion.
Yeah, this is definitely. It's actually. I don't even know what I want to call this episode yet. So by the time you guys hear this, we'll obviously have a title for it. But I started off thinking one thing, and then something else happened that was similar, and it's gone into this whole frustration about what other people view submission as, and how other people think submission should be.
I feel like, though, that little incident that you were telling me about earlier that I know you're going to be bringing up, I feel like that was just so perfectly timed for this.
Yeah.
Like it was tailor-made for you.
Yeah. Well, and it ultimately all swings back into my word for 2024, which is empowerment.
Oh, I thought it was passion. I thought we were changing it.
That's the word of the month. Empowerment is the word of the year.
Okay, well,
passion's the word for the month.
Maybe passion is next year's word?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'll have to see if I still feel passionate about it.
I hope you do, because the day you don't feel passionate about something, you'll be dead.
Probably.
Because you have a raging chihuahua inside your body that is full of
as we say to the kids, I have big feelings.
In a little package.
In a little body. I know. Iro told me, he said the sweetest thing to me.
Oh, boy.
Said I was a teeny tiny meanie. And I thought, that's just so sweet.
Okay. So the conversation Iro and I were having this morning was, fuck them. Yeah, fuck them. Up the ass. With a wooden spoon. A splintering wooden spoon.
Ouch.
Sideways. And then Ira goes, without lube. I'm like, damn.
Oh,
all right, you win.
I don't know who you were talking about, but that poor person must have pissed somebody off.
My neighbors.
Oh, then I know exactly what happened. Yes. Nothing more needs to be said. We know about the neighbors.
I came in and I was like, oh my God, grr. And that's the whole fuck them with a wooden spoon, splintered wooden spoon, no less. I thought that was
with no lube.
With no lube. And then I said something like, and I hope they have hemorrhoids.
Ooh. Lube was actually part of one of the discussions I had in that other situation.
Okay, I'm scared now because oh dear God, I don't want to. Okay, so let's go ahead at this point and just get started because now we're just bouncing ping pong balls all over the place here.
That's what happens when I don't have notes.
I'm actually for it. I like this, but now I'm starting to get confused and my ADHD brain can't even keep up with this.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that I'm going to try to not name any names. My goal here is not to call out any particular person or group to say, hey, you suck. Because I believe that the people who wrote this book are coming at it with good intentions. They mean well. They want to do right in their education. They want to help people. I just don't agree with their opinion.
Now, let's make a caveat here because you have stated that you don't agree with 90% of what they say.
Yes, correct.
Ever, period.
Correct.
Okay. So this is just adding fuel to the fire?
It's keeping the fire stoked. Yep.
Got you.
But I don't want...
that's the name of our episode. Stoking the fire.
Stoking the fire, stoking Rara's fire.
Stoking Rara's fire. I was going with Rageisode, but stoking Rara's fire seems to be... I like that one a lot better.
Look, there are people in this world who are incredibly toxic because they're not good people. They're evil, they have bad intentions, and therefore are problematic. Then there are people in this world whose intentions really are good. They mean well. They're just not maybe as knowledgeable or as open-minded or understanding that there's other ways of doing things. And I think that's where this person falls into the secondary category. They're not a terrible, evil, horrible person like that Alpha Dom on TikTok, but
which is my point that I brought up this morning. Did you read that?
I probably glanced over it. I was at Target. I was listening. I was in the middle of Target listening to Simon and Megan having sex. So I wasn't fully paying attention.
Audiobook.
Yeah.
Took me half a second to figure out what you were talking about. I was like, damn, were people having sex? No, they were not. Okay, no. I got you.
I've been known to come very close to an orgasm in the middle of Target when I've seen certain things that may be on sale or they're like beautiful and I want them. So Dara's giving me the look right now.
You know that 911 guy, or not 911 guy, he's like an EMT or something that is on TikTok.
Oh, the badge. Badge 502 or something. Yeah.
He does that head shake thing in the beginning of his videos.
That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting.
That's you no.
It's my happy place. It makes me happy.
What is that thing he does? He smacks the Ooh.
Uh-oh, what time is it?
Time for my alarm to stop going off.
All right, are we ready to dive into it? Are we ready to unleash the Rara?
I'm scared of unleashing the Rara.
Be afraid. You should all be very, very afraid.
Oh, wait. You were talking about Alpha Dom?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the rant and rave section, somebody was talking about, they were talking about how this person said that you don't have to listen. If they say, no, I don't want to be your dom, you can just act like a service sub anyway and do it without their knowledge. I was like, wow, that's giving Alpha Dom. Mm-hmm. Like that mental state right there is just, nope. So that's going to come back to haunt us a lot, I think, that stupid video.
Yeah, but he's an interesting piece of work, and nothing has it's brought all sides of TikTok together against him. So you got to give him credit for that.
That was pretty hilarious.
All right. So basically, where my ranting and raving is coming from is this idea of what a submissive should do, should say, should not say, should be, should not be. This whole idea of should or shouldn't, and absolutes. I mean, I'm reading this book and there's all this never do this. I'm like, why not?
Well, sorry. Okay, first of all, give an example. Never do what?
Never speak ill of your dominant. Never make fun of your dominant.
Oh, Jesus. Never make fun of your dominant. The fuck?
I think it goes back to this idea that people, I find, forget a lot. A DS dynamic is ultimately a relationship between two people. And I'm assuming just one dom, one sub for argument's sake. Okay. It is a relationship between two people. If you want this relationship to last, then you need to put the relationship first and the DS second. My opinion, I'm sure there's people out there who would disagree with me, but you're wrong. Sorry. It's not going to work. You cannot maintain the dynamic at the expense of the relationship.
Well, so to me, the dynamic is the type of relationship. It just adds an extra layer. It's like the vanilla is like plain cake or like a naked cake, and then every layer gets more frosting and more decoration and more stuff added to it. You can have a perfectly great cake without all the extras. Mm-hmm. The extras are what make it more delicious.
Some of my best favorite relationships are where we tease and make fun of each other.
Hi.
I mean, right? There's boundaries of what you should and should not make fun of, because everybody's got those sensitive issues that they don't find anything funny about, and you shouldn't use that as fodder for humor. But I'm sorry, right? Isn't that like the running joke? Best friends are when one falls and the other one laughs and records first and then helps them up.
I feel like this is you and me just like exemplified.
Right. Or they fall and you're laughing so hard you fall right next to them.
Or get pulled down next to them because you're laughing so hard and you dangle your arms and then that person reaches up and pulls you down.
Yes, all the above. But let's go back to some of I started to highlight in the book the different things that upset me.
You annotated it?
I did.
You got the physical copy of it?
No, I got the e-copy of it. You can highlight and take notes.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they had that feature.
Right? So we're going to start with this first one. And I highlighted everything in pink because it's me.
Obviously.
Right. The first thing, and I think I was all of 1 page into the book, maybe 2 pages, and the ranting started. When we talk about speaking submissively, what we mean is that we approach communication from a mindset of respect, humility, compassion, and patience. And my response to that is, shouldn't that be how couples in any relationship speak to each other? So does this mean if it's being submissive to speak from a place of respect, humility, and compassion and patience, so my dom doesn't have to?
Yeah, like I feel like the respect should be on both sides.
But that was where the book started, and I was going, I'm sorry, what?
I have so many issues with that.
I mean, it was the title that got me first, Speak Submissively. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
It piqued your interest a little bit there?
Oh, yeah. Because I have been on both sides of the slash. And I feel it doesn't matter what side of the slash you fall on, you should be speaking to each other respectfully. Like, that's just a given. Why would you be with somebody who isn't speaking to you respectfully?
Exactly.
And humility?
Yeah, I don't think that one applies in any way. I'm not going to be humbled in any way just speaking to a person.
I told you, I have a great t-shirt that says, I'm not looking up at you. I'm just that short.
Not looking up to you
I'm not
anyway.
looking up to you. I'm just that short.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's like, it's ridiculous. And compassion and patience. Again, every human being on this planet should have compassion and patience. Whether you're kinky, whether you're vanilla, whether you're a dom, whether you're a sub, whether you're a master, whether you're a slave, whether you're just exploring, it doesn't matter. Compassion and patience should be a human trait.
I don't have anything to add. That was very well said.
Thank you. Okay, so we shall continue. I will find. Then the next thing they said, use please every time you want something, and use thank yous once you've received something. Again, why is that submissively? Why? I'm sorry, I'm a dominant. I ask my submissive to do something. I can assure you, please and thank you will be called. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm sorry, people. I'm going to have to do it. Please and thank you. They're called the magic words. If you want nice things to happen, they're the words that should be heard. Saying please and thank you. They are the magic words. Use them in the morning, day and night. Please and thank you. They're the magic words.
I think my soul just left my body. What the fuck did I just witness? Help!
I need somebody.
What the fuck?
Yes.
First of all, I couldn't turn the volume down fast enough. That was painful physically, painful mentally, and painful emotionally.
The amount of people who were listening and sang along with that, I'm telling you, they were doing it.
And they were all parents, because anybody who is not a parent is going, what the fuck? That does not sound similar to when I was a kid.
Well, that's because it's Barney, and you weren't a kid when Barney was around.
No, dude, I was in like 6th grade.
Yeah.
I remember, because obviously there's like some 6th graders are redonkulously immature and still think that they're in kindergarten, and some 6th graders are like, you know, they think they're in high school. And like, I remember being in 6th grade when Barney came out, and there was like a whole bunch of people singing it. And I'm like, I apparently was one of the ones that thought they were in high school, but I was surrounded by kindergartners. Oh, it was so annoying. Same thing happened when Baby Shark came out, except at that point I knew I was a little and I was singing it at the top of my lungs all the time just to annoy all the bigs.
Yeah. I swear to God, there's a line in a Taylor Swift song that's about how people say she puts like narcotics in her songs to get people to sing along. And I swear that's...
Wait, is that legit? People think that?
People think she's the devil.
But I don't understand. How do you put narcotics in sound?
I don't understand either.
But
I think if anything, it would be Baby Shark that has done that.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. That's just crack.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, that's ridiculous. How is, again, saying please and thank you submissive? And I think that's a huge problem, is that people feel like dominance, if somehow you say please or you say thank you, that you're not dominant enough.
Well, that's kind of like, you know, eating pussy apparently is not dominant. You know, that's like saying that's stupid. If you are the dominant person, partner, whatever you do is dominant. Being polite can still be dominant.
Right. I mean, I'm asking you to do something. I'm going to use my manners because I am a polite person. And because, again, right, if I break my toy, I don't get to play with my toy.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to treat my toy nicely. If you have a car, do you fill it with gas and oil? Do you wash it? Do you clean it? Do you wax it? You take care of what belongs to you so it lasts longer. That's the whole point of it. And then things like the book also talks about how to ask questions. So instead of saying, can I, you should say, may I? Well, first of all, that's not being submissive. That's being grammatically correct. That's one of my favorite things to do with my kids when they were little. Can I go to the bathroom? I don't know, honey. Can you?
Oh my God, you are one of those people.
I'm one of those people.
I dislike you.
I know. Thank you.
And this is coming from a person who words for a living. You know, I still don't like you.
Yeah. And then they'd go, may I? Yes, you may. And then things like, instead of saying, I'm going to the store, switch it to, may I go to the store? Now, look, that might be your dynamic where you need permission to go to the store. As a submissive, I would never be in a dynamic where I needed permission to go to the store. If I needed to go to the store, I was damn well fucking going to the store. And that's part of the problem, the way this book is set up. Instead of acknowledging that different levels of a dynamic are going to require different rules, it sets it up as a one size fits all. Occasionally, they'll throw in a little statement about, well, these are the rules that I have. Yours may be different, but not enough as far as I'm concerned.
It's like when there's dynamics that you have to ask permission to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Right? So that's pretty hefty, in my opinion. But if that's what you like, that's what you like. But Robert, I think you just proved that there's not a submissive damn bone in your body.
Yeah, I kept saying that every time I would read some more.
And I feel like there's not a whole lot in me either. I don't know. I still like to consider myself submissive to Daddy J, but that's only the little. And even the little is a bossy pants.
Well, yeah. And I think maybe that's the problem as a teenager, because I'm a middle. We're always in charge as a teenager. We don't take shit from nobody.
Well, he calls me the little mistress, so
there you go.
I don't know how submissive I am either, but I try.
I mean, personally, I would never want my submissive to ask me if they are allowed to go to the store. May I go to the store? Now, if they wanted to say, I need to go to the store, is now a good time? That I think is fine.
Well, it also depends on if you're living together and if you're doing something together, or, you know, if you have plans or whatever that day. So there's a lot, but that is like, okay, so that I just described, that's a partnership. That's like living together. You're committed. You're doing that whole thing. That's like vanilla. That's just, you know, hey, I know we were going to do something right now, but do I have time to do this? Can I go to the store and grab this really quick? Yeah. Okay, cool. But not, I have to go to the store today. Can I go to the store today? I don't know. Did you do all of your chores? That is a chore.
Right. Even when I was married in vanilla, if I needed to go to the store, we certainly never had a relationship where I was submissive to my ex-husband, if anything, vice versa. But there was nothing wrong with saying, because I know we had plans, but I didn't have the exact details, to say, listen, I got to go to the store. Is now a good time for me to go? And the answer might
reasonable.
And the answer might be no, because I really need to do this first, which means I can't watch the kids. So can you go later when I'm available to watch the kids, type thing, right? But yeah. But then this came up, and this is when this was the straw that broke my back, or this was the final match that set everything aflame, if we're sticking to the stoking my fires.
Okay.
Are we ready? You're sitting down again. Ready?
I just was wondering if you were actually calling yourself a camel. You do have 2 humps.
I do have 2 humps. That's true.
Your lovely lady lumps. I had to.
It's only fair. We've been throwing songs out in this episode. It seems appropriate. But ready? Then they get into this talking about tone.
Oh boy.
And here we go. I'm just going to read this to you, and then I'm going to just move away from the mic and the earbuds.
Oh boy.
So, ready? There are ways in which you can use a more submissive tone to your conversation and speech as a whole. Now remember that this method isn't directly submissive, but more along the lines of demure.
What?
I haven't finished. Demure with deference and humility. Go.
What? Demure, deference, humility.
Go.
Oh shit, no.
Yes.
First of all, oh my God. So I know a lot of submissives. We know a lot of submissives. Do you know a single goddamn one that is demure?
Nope.
I don't know a single person in my entire life that could be considered demure. What the F?
See why I thought it would be funny if you were hangry? Yeah, keep going.
Demure. I can't get over that word. What was the other one? Deference? No. Absolutely no. That's not a thing. That's not deference my ass. That just means that you're like letting them have their way no matter what. And great if that's like the dynamic that you want. But again, I know a shit ton of people in dynamics. I don't know a single person that is going to not question anything. Like, unless you're a fucking trad wife and you're pretending that that's not your kink and you're doing it wrong anyway, then that's deference. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. That is some sick fucking Christian trad wife motherfucking shit. And then what was the last one? Humility. I ain't got a humble, unless I'm doing a humiliation scene, I ain't got a goddamn humble bone in my body.
I say you already sort of hinted at it, but I'm going to pull it out of you a little bit more. What kind of relationship does this scream to you? You mentioned it briefly.
Bad. Stupid trad wife.
To me, it doesn't even sound like trad wife. It sounds like the very ultra religious, conservative marriage where the husband is in charge and the wife must be demure and deferent and humility toward her husband because the man is in charge and she's just along for the ride.
Yeah, no. And okay, so here's the thing. That is not just the whole, I zeroed in on the Christian trad wife thing because that's like the popular one right now. But there's a lot of conservative religions that have that type of dynamic. A lot. Not just
the
Christian.
Ultra religious in just about any religion. The ones who are the end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Is pretty traditional for them.
No, thank you.
And then it kept going, and it talks about learning. One of the other ways to speak submissively is to learn proper pronunciation. And you should try to use proper pronunciation and grammar as often as possible. It not only shows intelligence, but can bring your conversation to an even keel, keeping it humble.
Oh, no, they didn't.
They did.
Oh, no. That has so many problematic connotations to it. I just got a headache thinking about them all. It makes you sound more educated to have proper grammar. Now, I hold education in high regard. I think we figured out in one episode that I'm basically a sapiosexual, but that screams bigotry.
Yeah.
That just screams bigotry.
Listen,
oh my God, I'm like holding my head.
One of the things that I had to unlearn when I was working on myself as far as racism and stuff like that is things like grammar. For instance, just the simple word of ask, right? And in the African American community, you'll hear a lot of people say X instead of ask. And I used to think, oh my God, why did they say it wrong? That's not proper, blah, blah, blah. And I've since learned that actually that is very correct and very proper in that community. And I think I forgot the actual technical name for it.
So it's a dialect, essentially. Yeah. Every language has dialects. Every language has different accents based on geographical location, based on culture, based on influences that culture. This is where my linguistics college courses come in because I literally had to do this a lot. But it's all in, and not only that, but you have like take French, the influence of different cultures with French. You have France French, you have Quebec French, and you have Creole French. They can't understand each other, but it's still all French because of all the unbelievably different influences they have. Each culture is going to have their own dialect. Each language has their own dialect based on geographics, based on culture. Each language is going to have huge influences from other places. Not all grammar is going to be correct. Hell, if you look at American Sign Language, did you know that the grammar for American Sign Language is actually French grammar?
That doesn't surprise me. Listen, one of my funniest things is like on TikTok, somebody will be doing sign language and Americans come in and go, "You're wrong." And they're like, I'm not doing American Sign Language. I'm doing British Sign Language.
Yeah. They're not all the same. But like in English, in the English language in general, you have your adjectives first before your noun. And they actually even go in a certain order. There's like a precise way to do this. And you don't realize it until you actually have it all like shown to you. But in sign language, as in French and other Romance languages, you have the noun first, then all the adjectives. It's just a different way of saying things.
And it's just
a dialect.
And it doesn't mean it's wrong or it has any basis of being intelligent or unintelligent. And the fact that you would think that you need to speak a certain way to show you're intelligent. I mean, like one of my funniest things is I just saw this. And again, I am apologizing. I am blanking on the name. They showed this African-American man who was doing telesales.
Mm-hmm.
And he was speaking on the phone in what you and I as white people would find very normal discussion. And then as soon as he was done on the phone, he turned to his black friend who was recording it.
I saw that. It was the guy who
code
was
switching or
it's
something?
It's called code switching.
Code switching, right? Does that mean this guy was fucking intelligent enough to understand if he wanted to sell to the white people, he needed to speak like the white people? So obviously this man was incredibly intelligent.
Also, there's a difference, even in, what we're calling white people, there's a difference in New York versus Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's not entirely based on race.
But yeah, this idea that it's tied to intelligence. And again, brings your conversation to an even keel, keeping it humble. If I, as a submissive, am very well aware of what I'm good at and what I'm doing right and my strengths and my skills, why do I need to be humble? Like, I mean, I understand there's a certain level. We should all not think we are all that in a can of beans, so to speak.
There's a difference between being overly humble and knowing what you want to do. Let me rephrase. There's a difference between knowing yourself and knowing what you're good at and being arrogant as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, though. I can't stand that whole line, that whole sentence. Right. That's just vile.
Then it's also don't be a loud talker. Ha! Use the inside voice. I'm sorry, my child?
This is giving grooming young girl.
Well, what this was giving to me is this idea of DS as a hierarchy, with the dominant being over the submissive. And I know there are a lot of people who view DS that way. I'm going to throw something out at you guys, my viewpoint of DS, just food for thought for anybody who thinks of it the other way. I view DS as two sides of the same coin, each one with their specific role and responsibilities. No one is better than the other. No one is higher than the other. They are equals with just different responsibilities. Two sides of the same coin.
There you go.
That's where I come from. And that's how I've always viewed on it, because honestly, a dominant needs a submissive needs a dominant. So why are we not equals?
And you know what's interesting about this? Even when you first started, is that how you viewed it?
I don't know if that's how I viewed it in the sense that I actually was able to articulate it, but I never viewed it. And this is where I'm lacking in humility or submissiveness for the most part, even though I called myself a submissive. I never viewed it as a hierarchy with the dom being over the submissive. That would never have worked for me, ever.
When I first started, that is how I viewed it, because I was like, this is just how I was taught and what was available at the time. Because granted, this is 20-something years ago. It was mostly, I am old, but I also started it. I also started very young, so way younger than you were. But that's how I learned it. And then over the years, it changed. I grew, I changed. And that is not how I see it anymore. I respect the hell out of people who still submit. I can't.
Yeah,
except to Daddy J, and even then,
it's questionable.
Yeah, let's face it.
Oh, I've always done it. I've just been waiting for you to admit it.
I admit it. Let's put it that way.
But I just have a problem of, and again, lack of humility or submissiveness. Anybody thinking they're better than me because of their being a dominant. There are people who I definitely think are better than me, but that's because they're kinder, they're more giving, they have more patience. Like that to me, you are so much better than I am because you can do all that, not because you call yourself a dominant.
So in that case, I'm way below you because I don't have any of that.
You'd have very little patience.
I have no patience whatsoever.
And then this kind of leads into the next thing that I've highlighted. And again, I'm just going to say, I'm going to read it and then I'm going to sit back.
Shit.
So don't say anything till I finish the whole sentence. You ready? Here we go. First, you shouldn't question a dominant's orders. It is not a submissive's position to know why a dominant wishes something done or the reason behind it. As hard as it may seem, we should just do it and trust our dominant with that decision. Go. Release the Dara. Release the Dara.
No. Fucking no. Don't question it. Jesus fucking Christ. If they tell you to cut your arm off, you're just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Boing. Oh shit. There goes my arm. No, you fucking question it. If it's against a boundary and they're trying to push the boundary, you fucking question it. You, in fact, don't do it. Don't even question it. Just be like, no, bitch.
Well, they do finally, after that, go, there are exceptions. And
of course there's exceptions.
And you should challenge the dominant when the new request contradicts a previous one, when a request puts the dominant submissive as someone else at risk, when a command is illegal or may have legal repercussions, and when an order violates the verbal or written contract negotiations within the relationship.
What? No, there's so many more exceptions than that. I'm busy. Hey, can you make me some chicken nuggets? I'm kind of busy right now. Could you do them yourself? I'm literally in the middle of something. Where's my dinner? I don't know. It's 8:30 at night. I already had my dinner. Why don't you go fucking make your own dinner? There's frozen shit. Go put it in the oven. Do you know how to turn on an oven? I'm literally in the middle of something.
I think the problem is it doesn't take into account. Some people are okay with that. You tell me what to do. I'm just going to do it. No questions asked. Some people, I happen to know you are one of them. They need the why.
I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds nothing like me.
If I'm going to ask you to do something and it's not obvious why I need you to do it, I don't think it's horrible to say, do you mind telling me why you need this done now? Why this can't wait?
Here comes somebody who may be questioning why I'm asking why they can't turn on the oven. Oh my God, what exactly are you doing? That's what I get for apparently yell screaming.
Oh.
I got mooned.
Oh, I didn't get mooned. That's not fair.
Rara's very disappointed she did not get mooned.
I've been yell screaming too.
She has also been yell screaming, but you couldn't hear it because I have headphones. Oh my God, he's coming over.
Yes.
She can't see that. Come
here.
No,
keep move over. Keep moving.
There you go.
There you go, right there. Oh, I just want to take a nibble. Can I take a nibble? I'm so sorry you guys missed Daddy J's very, very white ass. But it's a lovely, very lovely, very, very white ass.
It is very white, yes.
Well, how often does the ass see the sun? I mean,
never. I chew on it enough that he doesn't need any more nibbles from you, but if you would like to, I would like to offer him up on a platter.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, that was entertaining. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I like service submitting when I feel like it. So, but to me, that's just being a good partner. I'll be like, hey, do you need some water? Because Daddy J is worse about drinking water than I am. You know how the whole thing with subs, did you drink your water?
Which is just a social media thing. Yes.
Right. Yeah. No, I also need to keep him on track. Rara's like, speaking of water, I need to drink some.
That's my protein coffee.
Oh, got you. Well, I have to keep on him now too. So that's me taking care of my quote dominant.
I think though, there's like some definite confusion here because this was a typical question in lower protocol situations. All right. So they specifically said lower protocol.
What is low protocol?
Well, versus high protocol. And this is what they said. May I be excused to use the facilities?
Ew.
They consider that one a lower protocol. To me, if I have to get permission to go to the bathroom, that's a high protocol situation, not a low protocol.
That's absolutely fucking high protocol. That's like highest of protocol. If they're controlling your bathroom breaks,
yeah,
that's master slave, extremely high protocol level.
And I will be honest, in all the people that I've met, that I've talked to about this, I've only ever met one that has actually had that as a protocol where they needed permission. And they never did it all the time. It was like they would go away for special weekends together, where for the weekend, they were high protocol, which included having to ask to go to the bathroom.
I was going to say, did that remain as a protocol for throughout the years, or
just during their high protocol weekends, which was not every weekend, because they also had kids. So it was like when we're away from the kids and we can be 100% master slave versus also mom and dad.
Okay, well, like what I was asking was how long ago was that, and is that still a thing that they do?
I haven't talked to them in a while, so I don't know if that was something they still do. But
I'd be interested.
For them, it was a fun game. Like that was part of the fun game, is to just for a weekend, just a weekend, to just totally do all this. So I love this. Asking too many questions is a sign of inexperience or lack of confidence in your abilities.
Not asking questions is a mark of inexperience.
To me, this falls back into that stupid topping from the bottoming situation where, God forbid, you should ask questions that somehow will make you a bad submissive.
No, that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's such bullshit. Like, asking questions is how we learn. Asking questions is how we grow and get better and get more stuff for DS. I don't like this book.
Then we go into one of my favorite sections. Is the sarcasm coming through?
No.
I need the sarcasm to come through.
Okay.
One of my favorite sections. How to apologize.
Rara, are you trying to kill me in this episode? What the fuck? What do you mean?
That the proper apology is an art.
What?
Now, they said apology is not admitting your intentional disobedience. It's not about accepting the blame either. It is purely about acknowledging that you have displeased your dominant in some way.
I'm sorry that I questioned what you were doing earlier. That was crossing a boundary that we had previously discussed. My bad, that pissed you off. Is that an apology?
Well, no, because it's not sincere. And they do talk about the fact that it should be sincere.
I don't think I could ever be sincere in an apology like that.
Nope.
Well, we are just proving we are most sincerely not submissive.
Listen, I wouldn't, if my submissive did something wrong and I'm upset about it, I don't want an apology for upsetting me. I want an apology for not doing what was agreed upon. I want an apology for not doing what you've agreed to do. I mean, I had a situation with my sub where they did not do the writing assignment despite having a significant amount of time to get it done. Apologizing to me for upsetting me is not something I would be seeking. I wanted to understand why something that they had wanted to do, that they had agreed to do, that was set up around their schedule, was not done. My feelings are separate from that.
There's also the whole why is the dominant not apologizing for doing something? Like, why is the apology only the submissive? If I'm as the dominant person did something wrong and I cross a boundary, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be apologizing for a long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this book.
And some of these examples that they give, I don't know, maybe I'm just reading it in my lack of submissive mindset. But one of the examples they gave was like, it was not my intention to displease you. I just hear that in the most sarcastic voice ever. Like if my submissive said to me, It was not my intention to displease you. I don't know that I would take that as a sincere apology.
I'd actually start laughing.
I would take that. I think I would probably say, I would sure as hell hope not, because if your intention was to displease me, why the hell are we in a relationship?
Well, you know what that kind of sounds like when you translate what you want to say into corporate?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, gee, I'm sorry that fucking pissed you off. It was not my intention to displease you.
Yeah. I love it. Oh my God, Jess. Have you ever seen those TikToks where they come in to the lawyers?
Yes.
And they say, how do you say this in legalese?
Well, there was and then it's like a whole spew of words. Yeah. My favorite current one is the Gen Z that works in an office, it's a Gen Zer that works in an office with a bunch of boomers, and they translate. They translate word stuff for each other. But what cracked me up was the Gen Z was trying to was explaining spill the tea to their boomers boss. And the boss said, okay, so I can say spill the tea on this project to, higher up. And the Gen Z was like, no, dude, yes, please. No, he said yes. And then he said, please CC me on that email because I want to see the response. And the boss did it. And the response was to the Gen Zer who was CC'd and goes, did you tell him what spill the tea meant? Is that what he said? And then they translate from, all the angry first reactions into, corporate. And I got to find this for you and send it because I was losing it. I was laughing so hard. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. It was the perfect symbiosis.
It's just, I don't know. A lot of this stuff that they have written makes me think, I know that they identify as a submissive. This just screams master slave to me way more than DS.
Well, I'd like to know what they consider high protocol and low protocol at this point.
Yeah. There's even like advice on how to respond in the positive. Like, I'd be happy to do that for you, sir. Versus how to respond in the negative, saying, not unless you wish it, sir.
What?
Like but the example they gave, okay, so like they're trying to teach you how to respond submissively in the negative. But the example they give is if the dominant asks you, are you warm?
Not unless you wish it, sir.
Yeah.
I don't.
And my thing is, that's not really in the negative, because that's just negative would be, I've asked you to do something and you have to tell me, no, you can't do it. That's responding in the negative, not I'm asking you, are you warm? And you're like, no, I'm not warm. I'm perfectly comfortable. Thank you so much for asking. That's
not negative. Just because the word no in it doesn't make it negative.
Thank you. This was my point.
Of
course, they tell you, try to avoid having a bad attitude. Well, thank you. Anybody should have tried to avoid having a bad attitude. Again, regardless of what side of the damn fucking slash you were on. I should have a dom with a bad attitude? No, thank you.
No. See, here's the thing. I don't actually agree with that. I think with your partner, you're allowed to have a bad attitude because your partner is your safe person and you're allowed to have your feelings around that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm fucking Hurricane Dara sometimes and daddy just goes, okay, yep, just wait until that all blows out and then
just give you
bring it back.
Give you a Snickers?
Well, can't have a Snickers.
I know, I'm sorry.
But chewy candies are okay. Here's
Here.
Have a Skittles. Oops, I dropped it. Is a red one too. Oh. That's going to get me sugar high now.
Oh, good. Now we have a whole section on showing gratitude. Again, as if that's a submissive thing.
My eye is twitching.
I know. It's funny.
It's not from the Skittles.
I knew it wasn't.
I don't like that.
And they like a submissive should be grateful. You're right. A submissive should be grateful. A dominant should be grateful too. And expressing the gratitude for your partner. I mean, here's one example. And oh my God, this one just, thank you kindly for allowing me to sit next to you.
Ew. Wait, Rara, please write all of these down.
Yeah.
And send them to me. Because I'm going to start recording me saying them in front of daddy and watch his reaction. And then I'm going to send them to you.
Okay. This one especially. Thank you kindly for allowing me to sit next to you.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. Oh my God, that sounds like
All right.
fucking hysterical.
None of this takes into account what rules you may or may not have in your dynamic. I mean, that may be a rule in your dynamic. You cannot sit down on the sofa next to me without permission. You are expected to sit on the floor at my feet, and you need permission to sit down next to me. In which case, then telling your dominant, thank you for letting me do this, would be an appropriate show of gratitude. But that's not the example.
No, that they're just saying that's just how to do it all the time. That's just not right.
And that's the problem with this. This is very one true way. And it's very heavily gender geared, with the male submissive, the female, male dominant, female submissive. There's a couple of places where I finally see, because I know this has recently been updated. This is version 2, where now all of a sudden some of the examples, there might be like 3 or 4 that I found so far of all the examples where the words ma'am or mistress were actually used. Now we get into the topics to avoid with other submissives, which I really, really dislike, because one of the reasons that I love the idea of submissive groups and munches that are specifically for submissives and meetings specifically to submissives is so that you have a sounding board, a place to talk to. Like I had mentioned way at the beginning, there's a discussion in another group that I'm in that's taking place specifically in the submissive chat, where the submissive is coming to the other submissives going, here's my situation. Can I get some other viewpoints? Because they want to know what other submissives' views are. So to sit there and say topics to avoid with other submissives, I think, again, we're forgetting that any of this is normal for any relationship, regardless of the dynamic situation. So when you've got let's say married vanilla couples, right? And this happens all the time. The husbands go out and hang out by the grill together while the wives are all inside the kitchen doing that stuff. That's the point where you kind of say to your friends, hey, listen, so this is what's been going on. What do you guys think? Am I overreacting? Do I have a right to be angry? Is this what's going? And I think that's fine. But there's also definitely areas that you should only maybe share with your absolute bestie one-on-one and not in a group setting. So to again talk about like this as a whole specific to submissive thing makes no sense. I don't want the dominance going over to the other side and doing it any different.
Sounds good. I agree. So like it's not this whole book is making it seem very one-dimensional and kind of flat. Like all relationships are like this. And it's not very, dare I say, dynamic.
Right.
Which I really don't like and don't appreciate. If you're only saying this is how to do it, instead of saying, here's a way to figure out how best to do it for you and your relationship, then that's not good education.
We have a whole thing now on submissive speech in specific situations. And they talk about how submissives in BDSM commonly have to learn how to address someone in a non-scene scenario. How many times have you had conversations with service personnel or with people you encounter in your day-to-day without first asking them their names or how they wish to be addressed? And that you should do the same in a BDSM setting. And again, that to me is not submissive behavior. That's human behavior.
Yeah.
I don't expect anybody upon meeting me to call me princess or even say my full name, Princess Rara.
No, it's just Rara.
It's just Rara. That's actually the only time I introduce myself as Princess Rara in certain situations. But most of the time I really just say I'm Rara and leave it at that. And I don't, and whether you're a dominant or submissive, I don't particularly care. Now, you might have specific rules and protocols in your in your dynamic that require you, but I don't. And maybe again, because my lack of submissiveness, you introduce yourself to me as Master Bob. I'm going to call you Bob. I am not calling you Master Bob because you are not my master. And as far as you've earned the title, not from me, you haven't. I mean,
I was just letting you go.
And this I happen to know for a fact that not everybody.
My God, you're flailing.
I am. I'm very upset. My fires have been stoked. It was bad enough. I went through airport security the other day and I had my very first pat down ever. I'm 58 and a half. Ever first down because my groin was hot. Good thing I'm not going through security now. I don't want to see how hot I'd be registering on the scanner now. But yes.
Would it be just your groin or your whole entire body? Because now you're kind of looking like Anger from
In and Out. Or not
the
In and
Pixar
Out.
movie.
Yes, Inside Out.
Yeah, Inside Out.
Here you go. Yeah, no. I have proof that my pussy's hot. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Did you get a photo?
I did, but I couldn't stop laughing. The poor TSA agent was like hesitant. And then, of course, because they don't know who the fuck I am from anybody, she's like, are you okay if we do the pat down here? Do you need to go into a private room? I'm like, go ahead. Spread my legs. Pat away, lady. I'm totally fine.
You're so bad.
And I did this in front of my boss. My boss was we were laughing about it together. My boss, I said, I can't wait to tell my friends that I had to have this pat down because my groin was hot.
And she said
to me, she goes, well, now you got proof.
You got a hot pussy.
And I don't think she used the word pussy, but that's what she meant. I don't think pussy's in her vocabulary.
Oh,
she's very open-minded, but not that level.
Crotch. You got a hot vajayjay?
Crotch, I think was the word she used.
Oh, see, now if your crotch burns, you have a whole different problem.
Well, this was not a bad hot burn, but yeah. Anyways, now I've just totally lost my thoughts because I keep thinking about this and it just cracks me up every time. Oh yeah, I'm flailing. That's right.
You were flailing a lot.
I'm so glad y'all can't see me because it's not attractive, this flailing.
No,
anyway,
she's been hitting the mic all over the place. And guess who has to edit shit out?
That's right. So anyway, I happened to take an online class last night. And they referred to somebody as master and the person's name. And explained that they call them master so-and-so because they've known this person for years. They're an amazing, wonderful person who's done a lot for the community, and they feel that they have earned their title of master, and they're comfortable calling them master. That for me doesn't work. You are entitled to do what you want. You want to call somebody master as long as you're okay with it. That's fine. I don't think the expectation that you should call somebody master is okay, but if you choose to do it, that is your choice. But it's not, I do not expect a submissive to call me by my honorific when we are in absolutely zero dynamic together.
I just think it's really funny how sometimes I get people messaging me and say, hi, Khaleesi. I'm like, what?
Well, they don't quite know what to use to call your name. I guess that's
Dara.
It's better than if they say, hi, Electro.
Yeah, I've actually gotten that too.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Now that I opened up the I'm blanking, the fence, the gate hole, whatever, on this person saying, I don't think this relationship is healthy for you. You should get out. Now everybody else is coming out of the woodworks and saying the same fucking thing. I guess they just I guess they were just all afraid to actually say that. And somebody needed to be the bitch in the group. And I'm very well versed at that. So yeah.
Good job.
Go back and finish all that.
All right. Go ahead and finish up.
Then we have this next section, which really, as if the rest didn't get my goat, just this 2 words, the title of the section, the 2 words. I'm done. Ready? Addressing superiors.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, but no, you are not my fucking superior. I'm not in the military.
Oh,
you are no better than I am. You are not superior to me. So, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And versus addressing equals. As far as I'm concerned, every single goddamn person I meet in this lifestyle is my equal. There are very few people, I could probably count on one hand, that I would be, and I don't even know that I call them superior, just as much like I joke, for instance, Sunny Megatron, who's younger than I am, but I joke I want to be her when I grow up. Because I think she's amazing and fantastic, and I'm in awe of her knowledge and her speaking skills and all of that. But
if somebody said that to you, would you freak out?
Oh yeah. I laugh when people tell me, this is a very funny story that I will share. So I was at a munch, a different one than I normally go to. And somehow it came up that somebody said that they were intimidated by me because of who I am and my reputation and all that. And I'm like, you really shouldn't be intimidated by me. I'm just this incredible goofball. I said, just to show you what an incredible goofball I am. And I pointed out to the guy sitting next to him. I said, I saw you at Risque the other night and you had no shirt on. And you obviously go to the gym a lot and you're very well built. And honestly, every time I saw you walk by me without the shirt, all I wanted to do was just go up to you and pet you. And he gave me permission to do that anytime I see him. So last weekend when I was at the dungeon and I saw him without a shirt, I came up to you. I said, you said I had permission to pet you. He said, yes, you do. And he just stood there. And I literally just ran my hands up and down his pecs and his biceps. And I'm just like, oh my God, thank you. And I just pet him for a while. And then I said,
like a washboard.
Oh my God. Like just like literally like a pet. Like, okay, thank you. This is just lovely. And so now I will pet him every time I see him because first of all, he obviously works up very, very hard. He should get validation for all of that hard work. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we're equals. I know that they were intimidated by me and I'd like to undo that because I don't want anybody to ever be intimidated by me. It feels weird because I just view me as being this incredible, stupid goofball.
See, and I would take that as a fucking compliment.
I mean, it is an incredible compliment. I just want to undo it because I don't think it's necessary. But
I'd keep it.
But even Sunny, I don't consider herself my superior. I think some of her skills are superior to my skills. And I think her knowledge is superior to my knowledge. But as a human, as a person, there are very few people, again, that I would think of as superior. And they have to be more along the lines of like sainthood for me to go, you're superior. Like you are just.
And even then it's questionable.
Well, it depends what they're under sainthood for. Like if you're if I consider you a saint because you didn't kill that person sitting next to you. But yeah,
I should be sainted 36 million times then, if that's the criteria.
And then addressing subordinates. I don't like that one either.
It's the same thing going in the opposite direction.
I mean, it is likely that as a submissive, there are very few people below you on the totem pole. First of all, sweetheart, honey, in this day and age, why the fuck are you using the term totem pole? Like, really?
I was going to say that. I was just like, did you see my eyeballs bug?
I was looking at the screen. So that's number one.
Like, oh no.
Why the fuck are we using the term totem pole? It's inappropriate. It is just inappropriate in the year of our Lord, 2024, to be using that term.
The year of our Lord, huh?
Yeah. That's how serious I am about this.
Did you convert?
No. But if I went the year of my Lord, it would be like 5,000 something. Like 5,700 or something. And that might really, really confuse people. So would it be better in the year of your Lord?
I don't know. I don't know how to phrase that. In
the year of your Lord, 2024.
What the fuck are you even speaking to? Because it doesn't work for me either.
Damn. Then how did we get... Well, no, is it BC? And it's BC is before Christ, right? So then it works for you.
That's why I said, did you convert? I'm not really Catholic anymore either, so I don't know how that applies.
Then whose Lord is it?
Christians?
Okay. And the year of Christians Lord, 2024. No. Oh my God, I've got her choking.
Oh.
Are you okay there?
Nope. I might have died. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm just curious here. Yeah, we're 5,000. If the year of my Lord, 5,784.
Do you want to go by the Chinese calendar?
I have to look that up too. But right now, we are in the year 5,784 according to the Hebrew year. And then sometime in September. Oh no, October 2nd, we will have our new year. Anyway, now that we've completely gotten off track and I've lost what I was going to say. Oh yeah. So number one, the whole using the term totem pole. Seriously, that's even worse than the stupid male dominant, female submissive trope they got going here. But this idea of people being below you. What kind of hierarchical bullshit is that?
You had that almost
so close.
Honestly, I think that's just as bad as the whole education grammar
debacle.
Yeah. Why would I ever, in this lifetime or the next, look at somebody as being below me?
Yeah, it depends. Are you up a ladder?
Not usually.
Could use a queening chair, then they would be below you.
I do want to try a queening chair
I do too.
with them under me,
Mm-hmm.
giving oral sex. Okay,
Yeah,
now you're
that's
really
what
getting me
that's what it's
distracted.
for.
Now you're calming
Sorry.
me. Now you're calming me down when my fires have been stoked.
Well, thinking about the queening chair, you really sure that that's not stoking some sort of fire?
That's a different fire. That's stoking. I just, then there's a whole thing on how to politely interrupt. Say things like, pardon me, excuse me, I don't mean to intrude. Again, what does this have to do with submission? If two submissives are talking and a dominant comes over, is a dominant not expected to say something like this?
Apparently not. They can just interrupt.
I, of course, love the how to answer the phone or the door.
What?
Yep.
Oh my God. How to answer the phone. Hello?
Then a whole thing on how to speak with service persons. Kindly. That's all you need to know. You're speaking with service people kindly. 99.9% of the time, whatever your issue is, was not caused by them. So why wouldn't you just speak kindly? And it says how to show respect to service persons. Why is this under speaking submissively? That is just human. Be kind and respectful to fucking people.
So isn't that like a good way to determine on a first date if they get a second date is how kind they are to the service people?
Yep. I don't want to date somebody who's not nice to others, who's not respectful, who's not kind, who literally thinks there are people under them, beneath them, lower on the quote unquote totem pole than them.
Let's use the word ladder.
Right. I mean, listen, I could keep going because there's a whole section on online interactions. And I love this one. How to graciously tell them to go away. I graciously tell them to go away the first time. I'm probably still gracious on the second time. By the third time, we're getting less gracious. By the fourth and fifth time, there is nothing gracious about it.
I don't bother being gracious. I just go fuck off.
And the whole basics of chat room etiquette. Again, what does this have to do with being submissive?
Who the fuck is in a chat room?
Well,
hello, 1996 AOL?
Well, technically, I'm sure they mean like even in the Discord server, we have our channels. That technically would be like a chat room, even though we don't use that terminology anymore. Then they have a whole thing about using slash speak. Do you know what slash speak is? That's when you capitalize anything having to do with the dominant and lowercase anything having to do with the submissive.
Nope. Eye is twitching again. Nope.
Yes.
No. That's still the whole ladder hierarchy thing that they're trying to push. No.
And then, of course, talking in the third person. And I've seen this. I'm in another chat group where we have some submissive /slaves, I don't know how they identify, who refer to themselves in the third person. If that's your thing, go for it. To me, I don't think that makes you any better than anybody else. It doesn't make you more submissive than anybody else. It's just your shtick. So that's pretty much my thoughts.
Did you run out of flames? Are you on steam now?
No, I just know I've been going on and on for quite a while. So I feel that the fire is at full burning and we are good.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got that out of your system.
I did. Thank you very much. I appreciated that. I needed that because I have been stewing since I started reading yesterday. There's only 96 pages in this book, by the way.
I don't feel bad for you. You did this to yourself.
Okay, but look, it made for a really good episode.
Yeah, it did.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of our fun and educational content. New episodes drop every Friday.
If you love what we do and want to show support, there are several ways. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast. You can support our affiliates or help spread the word about our kinky podcast to your friends.
Don't forget to rate and review Pink Kink on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Those 5-star reviews go a long way in boosting our podcast through the algorithm and reaching more listeners.
Sign up for our Pink Kink Institute classes. Shop at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique. Stay connected with us on social media. You'll find all the links on our Linktree posted in the show notes.
Your support means the world to us. So until next time, stay pretty, stay safe,
and stay twisted.